And welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You know, it's interesting because we live in a state where everybody I talk to has back pain, neck pain, stress, and they all seem to go for massages. And it's something that I really, for some reason, never find time to do. Well, with me is Stefanie Gambino, Therapeutic Massage by Stefanie?
Gambino.
Gambino.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's at the end. You got to keep it at the end. Make it a little difficult for me. All right. Why'd you get into it?
That's a good question. I was really young and I just got out of high school, had no clue what I wanted to do, and at the time Kaiser Career College was right near my house, and I went, checked it out, and I thought, oh, massage therapy sounds like it would be a really rewarding career. Let me go check it out. And before I knew it, I signed up. I finished the whole 10 months, got my license, and just the rest is history. It just turned out to be something I really liked.
So, how long are you in it?
In November, it'll be 19 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you do, like, every age? I mean, is there an age range that you work on?
Not particularly. I've worked on, kids as young as 3 to people as old as 90.
Right, everybody says the same thing, 90. That ended at 90. We're living longer. You could be like 95 now.
I just had never had anyone older than 90, but if I did, I would certainly take them.
So, like, the industry that you're in, and I hate to say it this way, has a stigma.
Yeah, it can.
Okay.
It's much better than it was back in the day, but it's still there sometimes.
And I just want people to know that before you go to somebody, you should just check out that's a legit person.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
In the state of Florida, every place that does massage has to have a massage establishment license, and everyone has to be licensed massage therapist. So if they don't have that establishment license, then they're not operating legally, and we get inspected and all that stuff. So.
Okay, so I'm going to probably say it the wrong way. Modalities. Are there different modalities in massage?
Oh, there's endless modalities. There's, from hot stone to Hawaiian lomi to deep tissue to myofascial release, like you name it. There's
All right.
endless.
I'm guessing you can't be an expert in all of them. What's the ones that you prefer?
So I do a lot of deep tissue, and my massages kind of combine where I do like stretching, myofascial, deep tissue, real therapeutic work, just to get down into the muscle as best I can. I do a little cupping too, so I kind of combine it all. Yeah.
Do you do new cupping with suction, or do you do old cupping with fire and
no fire cupping. I actually do cupping where I glide the cups along the body to lift and soften the fascia so it looks more like this. So I'm not leaving the cup stationary, so you won't get those suction
Circles?
cup marks. Yeah, you won't typically get those unless you bruise easily, because I don't leave them sitting, so I move them.
I thought that was years ago when I filmed it. I thought it was really kind of interesting because they did it with, I guess, glass cups
And fire.
and fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I was in a fire, so I was like, yeah, fire near my body. I don't know if I really want that, but it was kind of interesting because when they were done, there was all these circles all over the person's back. All right, so you do some of that. I thought, isn't that like a form, and I could be wrong, of acupuncture?
Cupping?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but there is a form of cupping, I imagine, where you could put the cups probably over the acupuncture points, but that's not something I know much about.
Right.
But cupping is, I think, if I remember correctly, well, it comes back, it's thousands of years old. It was even in the Egyptian papyrus papers. And
I'm that old, I remember it.
Chinese, and it comes way, way, way back.
So, who, and I put you in the spot here, who's easy to massage, a male or a female?
I would say typically women, just because like their bodies are typically softer and a little smaller. So I would say they're typically easier, but either or. I mean, I've been doing it so long that it just doesn't really make a difference to me anymore.
How long is the massage then?
I do hours and 90s. Okay.
I gotta believe that 90-minute massage takes a lot out of you.
It can, but the way you're trained in school, you use proper body mechanics. You lean into the person, so I have the table set to my height specifically, so it doesn't hurt me. And then I also recently got trained in a very light form of bodywork called manual lymphatic drainage, over a year ago, and it's a very light pumping action, so it saves my hands, and it's extremely effective for a lot of things. So I do some of that too to help save my hands.
Yeah, I mean, I would think 90 minutes massaging somebody, especially deep tissue, could be very, very taxing on your body and your hands. If you did 90 minutes of deep tissue, that's just my thought. And I'm not in that industry, so I don't really know. But I would just believe that doing that work, using your hands for 90 minutes straight, because it's not like you take a break or you walk away or you raise your hand and say, "Can I go potty?" You just you're there the whole time.
If you don't do it right, it can be, and I can't do more than, like, if I'm going to do 2 90-minute minutes, I always put 30 minutes between my appointments. So I've done 3 in a row. I prefer not to, but if I do it right and the people aren't too difficult to work on, I can usually do 3 with a 30-minute break in between.
So therapeutic massage is really kind of different than just a massage. And the reasoning I brought that up is because I'm thinking, as it is with a chiropractor, sometimes you leave a chiropractor hurting a bit until it settles in. Is a deep tissue massage similar?
Well, deep tissue doesn't have to hurt to be effective. Some people like it to hurt. They feel like it's not getting anything done if it doesn't hurt. But what deep tissue actually is not deep pressure. It's not the same thing. I mean, it can be deep pressure also, but they're 2 different things. So deep tissue is warming up the tissues as much as you can to get into the deeper layers of the muscle. And so that's different than just deep pressure, than just pushing on someone hard. So the more you warm them up, the deeper you can get, the more effective it is.
Have you seen a lot of changes in the industry since you started?
Yeah, I've seen more regulation. It's definitely more mainstream now.
Right.
People believe in it as like a holistic thing to try when other things aren't working for them. So it's been all good changes.
And you see now it's not like you're going to a massage parlor. You're usually going into either a chiropractor's office or spa. Okay, something that's professional, clean looking, licensed, insured.
Yes.
Okay. I think that I can't imagine that everybody out there has not been sitting in a chair. Someone comes up behind them and tries to massage their neck, okay, or rub their back. The problem that I have with that is that you went 10 months to learn how to massage and where to massage. So can you do damage just massaging somebody thinking that you...
Sometimes. I mean, especially if the person has stuff going on that you don't know about, or you're pushing in the wrong spot, you can hurt someone if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's some form of a science to do massages. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to go 10 months, and I guess it's regulated by the DBPR.
In Florida, we're regulated by the Department of Health.
Okay, that's what. So you get. Is that where you get your license from?
Yeah, so there's a Florida State Massage Therapy Board, and then we get our license through the Department of Health, and we have to renew it every odd year, and we have to have continuing education to renew it, which they keep track of on a website. So if you don't have all your continuing education, then you cannot renew.
Huh. So it's funny because you said every odd year. So, like 2001, 2003, 2005, 2000...
Yes, so it's 2023, so I just renewed mine like a month ago.
Okay, and then now you'll renew again in 05.
2025, yep.
That's what I meant. I'm back in the day still. And I was actually thinking of 1925, but that's how old I get. Okay, so everybody renews on an odd year then?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like if you got your license on 2020 that you renew on 2022. All the licensing is done on odd
Every
years.
odd year, August. August 31st is the deadline, so it's coming up.
Well, no.
Well, I got mine. I did mine early, but August 31st, you have to have it done by.
And if you don't, does your license get suspended? Does it get inactive until you do what you have to do?
Well, it's not renewed, so I mean, technically, you can't practice.
Right.
And I've never actually gone beyond the date, so I'm not sure what happens. But I believe
good. Don't
there's
ever.
maybe a little fine, or you definitely have to get your continuing education in. So.
Well, okay. So you talk about continuing education because that's so important. And in real estate, we have the same thing, and in most professions, you have the same thing. To stay up to date, okay, to know new restrictions and new laws and stuff. do you have to take a, so you do continuing ed, and do you take a test, a quiz, or anything at the end of that continuing ed?
Typically, yeah. It also depends which one it is. Like when I just got certified in manual lymphatic drainage, we had a actual practical
Oh,
and a test. And then most of them, if they're home study courses, you'll get a test. But other ones, you'll do the 24 hours. It's like 3-day course, and sometimes they don't have a test at the end, but it's always like hands on. Typically, if it's live.
wait, a 3-day, your follow-up continuing ed is like 3 days?
Some of it. I mean, lymphatic drainage was 5 days,
Okay,
so it just depends.
and I just want people to understand what that means, and that means that if you go into someone who's licensed in a professional facility, you're going to get somebody who has the knowledge. It's not like,
Absolutely.
hey, I took the course, I passed the course, and now I'm just going to go and go and go and go. No,
Right.
there's a barrier there that you have to stop at, pay your toll, which
Yeah.
is your continuing ed,
Yeah.
okay, and then continue on. Do you find, because you're doing this quite some time, continuing ed beneficial?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Um, up up until just a few years ago, I took all my classes live just because I prefer to take them live, and you can take some online that are absolutely beneficial. That it that if you're experienced taking them, home study isn't not a problem. I just prefer to take them live. But like aromatherapy, for instance, I was able to do like a home study course in that, 40 hours, and it was aromatherapy, so it didn't involve like having to touch people or learn new like techniques. So
So let's go back now. Continuing ed, is everybody taking the same continuing ed, or no? You have to just do something within continuing ed programs.
well, there's so many different kinds. Everyone takes all kinds of different types.
Okay, so continuing ed could be deep tissue, could be aromatherapy, it could be any
Could
of
be
those things.
cupping, could be Thai massage. I mean, just endless. There's endless, and there's endless ways to take them too. They have like live seminars at sea on cruises. They have getaways to Costa Rica.
Oh my God,
I mean,
really
everywhere.
suffering through those
Yeah.
through those follow-ups.
I actually would like to get on one of those. That'd be really cool.
All right, we're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? So, you have a phone number?
I do. My number is area code 772-579-8548. I also have an online booking system, so you can just book right online on my website. It's www.massagebook.com/biz, biz/massage by Steph.
And that was on the screen. So
Yes.
if you want to go back, because we're in a world of technology, you can go back and just look at it on screen and write it down. It's a lot easier that way. Where are you located?
So I'm located out in PSL West off of Peacock. I'm in the Whitney Place Medical Plaza, and I'm actually inside Balance Beauty and Wellness Center.
Okay.
So I rent a room from her, and I'm my own entity, and she's her own entity, and it works well.
And that seems to be the status quo today for massage people. And I think being within a spa is great business. One is because you're fishing in the same pond, so people that you bring in might end up buying stuff from her, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know about business in general, when you're doing massage, someone else is there, someone else walks in. I mean, it just. I go by it takes a village.
Yeah.
So it usually takes more than one person to really keep things running smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And, so many people think they can do it on their own and stuff. Everybody, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. If you don't use a professional, it's going to cost you in the long run 5 times more in money and 10 times more in frustration. And when you're talking about massage, there's a chance that someone can hurt you if they're not licensed and knowing what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody, check her out. Stefanie, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Everybody, will be right back.